Hello and welcome to NJUKI'S Perspective. Welcome to my little corner of the internet. On NJUKI'S Perspective, we talk about everything to do with self-growth and self-development. So if that is something that you vibe with, feel free to hit that subscribe button and also leave the video a like. Also comment in the comment section if this content will be resonating with you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to survive life after campus. And for context, I'm 5 years out of campus. I did this video a while back, like 3 years ago in 2021, when I talked about the same thing. It's actually one of my best performing videos on my YouTube channel, and I thought that because it's graduation season, I should do this just to help someone out there who might be, graduating, or someone who has graduated recently and they're trying to find their footing, right? So when we're in uni, we feel so motivated, especially in fourth year, like towards the end of it, like you feel really motivated to be getting out, like you're going to be earning your own money, you're going to get your own space. And they don't really prepare us for the truth that is out there in the world. When you get out and you start looking for a job, you're like, okay. And that is when most people suffer something that has now come to be described as postgraduate depression, because you're trying to get work, especially in this time and age, and like with the current economic status, like you're trying to get a job and nothing is forthcoming, and you just start getting frustrated, and you're just like, my God, like what is this? And really, that's when adulting really starts, So in this video, I hope to share some tips that can help you if you're navigating this season. Given my 5 years out of campus, I know a thing or two, right? So I hope you will benefit from this. Yeah. So I didn't really watch the first video that I did in relation to this topic, because I didn't want it to have a biased view of what I discussed there. And then back then, I think I was really motivated, and anyway, I didn't watch that, so I'm giving this out of a fresh perspective. So if you haven't watched that other one, you can still go and check it out, but this is, I think, a more refined version. So number one, I would say, is after you start feeling lost and feeling like you're not getting a job and starting to get frustrated, just know you're not alone. You're not alone. Other people have been feeling this as well, and you're not the first person to feel this. Probably even your classmates are also feeling this, so you're not alone. Don't isolate yourself. Just talk to someone who has already graduated, and also just try to get perspective, that you can know that you're not alone. There is comfort in knowing that you're not going through an experience alone, right? That is my first one. The second one is, I think it's so important to start preparing yourself for life after graduation while you're still in uni. And how does this look like? I think it looks like creating the right networks that can help you get a job after uni. And also it can look like starting to buy some nice outfits that you can wear to interviews and also to jobs, because let's be honest, what we wear in campus versus what is needed in the job market, totally different, right? So you need to start investing in some clothing that you can start going with them to work, and also networks. I remember when we were in uni, this is a mistake that I did, honestly. I didn't have those connections. When I mean connections, I don't really mean connections. I mean, for example, where you went to your attachment, your industrial training when you're in school, you can make sure you have at least a person there who you can reach out to and tell them hey, I just finished my uni, are you willing to give me a job, even if it's unpaid, something like that. That is what I mean. Let me give you an example. When we were in campus, I have a friend of mine who did that. In where they went for their industrial training, they got such good connections, such that when they completed uni, they just went back there and started volunteering and they were given an internship, and eventually they were absorbed by the company. Like right now, I think they still work there, and it's a really good company for that matter. So make sure, like when you're still in uni, advancing to your last year, make sure you're still able to get those types of connections, especially where you do your internship, your part-time jobs, or your industry training. Those connections can really come in handy. The job market is a really, we all know how it is, so just start preparing yourself in advance. I also had another friend who did the same thing, like where when that was not even her internship, it was when we were still in school. There was this period of time when there was a lecturers strike, and during this time we were still in school, but there was like 1 or 2 lectures per week. So she went ahead and got like a part-time job in a town that was just close to school, and she would go there to just work and earn an extra coin during the times that we were not in class. And at that time we were like, you do your thing, we just gonna have fun. But honestly, it really came through for her, because after 4th year, she got the internship there as well, and I think she worked there for a period of time. What I'm saying is, she was able to build her resume even when still in school, right? And that is the most challenging thing, like building your experience, especially immediately after you're out of school, because employers are always asking for 2 years of experience. Like if you're able to have such arrangements as the stories I've mentioned, then it puts you at a higher vantage point. So that's one. No, that's number 2. And then number 3, I know this is highly debatable, but for me, I would say don't be too selective on the first job that you get, as long as it's aligned with your line of work. Please don't be too selective, especially on internships. There are some companies that won't pay you, or they just pay you like a stipend to help you with maybe daily transport and stuff. Don't be too selective. That is how you build your experience. My God, I see very many young people making this mistake. I was recently talking to this young person just out of campus, and they're like, no, but I've gotten like 2 interviews for internships, but they're not willing to pay me anything. No, me, I can't go and slave for a person. And I was just looking at them and I'm like, my God, you don't know how much you need to sacrifice to grow. As long as it's aligned with your job, that is the only way you can be able to gain experience, right? So I would encourage you, don't be too selective. Like, you won't get a high-paying internship. You won't get a high-paying job straight out of uni. They need experience, right? And that is the only way you're able to build your experience. Don't go being a Gen Z in the job market, right? It's not giving. Don't go saying that, And then, I forgot to tell you guys my story, the story of how I got my first job. How I got my first job is I just applied online, and I was out of campus. I was really applying because I didn't want to go back home. So the first opportunity I got, it was not really aligned with my job, but it was like, so for context, I did procurement and contract management, but this job was in administration, right? And the two really, sometimes someone in admin can do some bit of procurement, and someone in procurement can do a lot of admin. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do it, because I don't want to go back home and depend on, anyone. So I just took the job. Yeah. And I was being paid, for context, 100 USD, like 10,000 Kenya shillings. Yeah. And that was in 2019. Yes, 10,000 shillings, and you have to survive on it, to do everything from your rent, from your food, hair, maintenance, and everything. But we survived, and here we are. So again, don't be selective of your first job. That is number 3. Learn how to write your CV and your cover letter. this is something that really messes up for a lot of people, and they don't get up ending good opportunities because they don't know how to sell themselves. Because your CV and your cover letter are what are going to market you even before you can get into the interview room. And I love the generation, the times that you're living in, because we have the internet and you can be able to like get all these all these resources to learn how to make your CV and your cover letter. I'm not going to go so much in depth on CVs and cover letter writing, because I'm sure there are so many resources that talk about this. Follow these career coaches. You can learn a lot, even with your just experience of your internship and your attachment. That can be able to land you your first job. So just learn how to do your CV and your cover letter. Sometimes I look at the I look at the cover letters of my cousins, and I'm like, okay, send me, and then I can be able to guide you. And sometimes I'm like, no one will employ you with this CV. No one would call you for a job interview with this CV, So I think that is a big challenge for people who are just straight out of uni, because you're just following the template that you were taught in high school or wherever, and you're really, there's a way, like the 8 year system, you need to know all of that. All right. I think that was number 4. So number 5. Be open-minded about the job that you will do, because not necessarily all the time that you will find the job, the course you took in uni is what you end up doing is your job. So you really need to be open-minded, and also just start looking at your talents and your abilities, and your interests. Like, what do you want to do aside from the formal white collar jobs? Like, what else can you be able to do? So just be open-minded, explore your talents. And this is also another big one that you can explore when you're still in uni. You can be able to look at your talents. And right now with social media, my God, there's nothing you can't learn. If you want to learn about being an entrepreneur and being like maybe making crochet outfits, maybe coding and making websites for people, there's a lot that you can learn aside from like looking into the job market that you studied for. There's a lot that you can still be able to do. You can still become you can make money out of TikTok, you can make money out of influencing on Instagram, out of modeling. I mean, there's so much. I'm sure you guys know more than I know. So please be open-minded about the job market. Don't confine yourself, all right? So number 6 is don't take a hiatus after campus. Just hit the ground running. Immediately you're done with your uni, don't start saying that, I think I need to rest a bit just to, campus was difficult. I need to rest a bit before I can start looking for my job. No one is waiting for you to rest, all right? The economy is spinning. No one is waiting for you, honey. So you need to hit the ground running. All right, your third semester of 4th year, start looking for a job then. Just start, don't wait. Just start immediately, and whatever you get, well and good. As long as you started immediately, the odds will be in your favor. And also, while we are at it, I would recommend that immediately after you're done with your degree, start pursuing professional certification. That is CIPS, for people who are in my field, procurement, logistics, CIPS. For people who are in finance, I know there's CPA. For people who are in human resources, I know there's IHRM. So immediately you're done with your degree, however possible it is, please start pursuing your professional certification, because that will also put you above the rest of the people that you're competing for opportunities with. Because honestly, your degree will not suffice. That certificate will not suffice. You need to have more. So immediately start looking at professional certification. But also there is this perspective that I have. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but don't go for your master's, for your postgraduate immediately after immediately after undergraduate. I think that's a mistake that some people make, that immediately after your bachelor's, you want to do your master's, even before you can work and get some experience of how the job market is, and even before you get to know like what do you want to master in. I think it's important that you first do you first gain some experience in the market, in the field that you studied, before you can go and do a master's. That's just my opinion, but please let me know if you're a contrary opinion. I'd be interested to know. And then the other one is like, okay, fine, this is the one that I should have mentioned even before, that work on your social skills, your communication skills, and also they are called soft skills. Like work on your soft skills, because in as much as now that you are out of campus and you have gained all these technical skills, you know how to be, an engineer, you know how to be a doctor, you know how to be a whatever you studied for, you know how to be a media personality. You need to know, to learn and build and work on your social skills, your soft skills rather, because some people will go into the job market but they can't work with anybody because they don't know how to communicate. They don't have interpersonal skills, they don't know how to use Microsoft packages. And really right now we're living in a generation that is much better, that now you can go and learn Excel online, you can go and learn whatever, you can learn how to do, to use Power BI, you can learn how to use Microsoft Word and like Microsoft Publisher and all these other apps and PowerPoint, because these are things that you're going to need in the job market and you're going to need in your job. So you need to work on them. Aside from these technical skills that you have gotten in uni, you need to gain these other soft skills. So work on this, because no one really tells us about these things. Like, you're going to see them on the job listing and the description, but no one really teaches us how to work on your skills with Microsoft PowerPoint. And now you go into the job market and you're needed to do a presentation. No one has taught you how to use Microsoft Excel, and then you're going to process data, But now, at least the generation that we are living in, these things you can teach yourself, right? And also you have a bit of basis and also like background, a bit of it from maybe your computer lessons in high school. For us who went before you, and I can't believe I'm saying that, how old am I? For us, like, there was no computer like classes back then. Like, you had to, after your form 4, you had to go and enroll to a computer school, and you are not being even taught like very well, and you don't even have a laptop at home. So the only time you get to practice is when you're in that computer lesson. It was challenging, but now I am so glad that now this generation gets an opportunity. Even like you're having like laptops at home, even with this the mobile phones, you can be able to learn how to use all these things. Anyway, without talking much about it, that's it. Like, just learn how to work on your soft skills. And then I think the last one that I have is like, you have to adjust your lifestyle. You have to learn how to survive with a little. And the reason I say this is because, like, when we are in uni, most of us at least are provided for, right? Like, you can call back home and some money is sent to you, living allowance is sent to you, and you can be able to survive on that. And if it's, you misuse, you can still call back home and it's added. At least those who have the privilege for that. But after you're done with uni, don't know what changes. Like for most of African parents, at least, they'll now start treating you as an adult. Like, now you're an adult. Now you go get work and you can become self-reliant, you know. And if you are not used to surviving on little, you'll really struggle. Like, for example, you don't get, of course, that's a guarantee. You won't get a high-paying job as the first job that you get. If you do, well and good for you. But the truth is you won't. So, the little money you're going to get, you're going to need to pay your rent, you're going to need to survive on it, you're going to have to use for it for transport and still have some fun between all that, you know. So you need to really be able to survive on a little amount. All right, that's the truth. And then I think the other one I would say is like, some of your classmates' careers are going to peak very fast as compared to yours. And that's the truth. Maybe you are, let me pray for you that you're the lucky one whose career picks up very fast, you know. But if you know, like if you're not able to have your career pick up very fast, it can start creeping on you, and you start comparing yourself, especially now that we live in the age of LinkedIn, where someone can just post, you know, they got this promotion, they got this job, blah blah blah, you know, like, and you're like, what am I not doing right? Like, there must be something wrong with me. Like, what are they doing? They have cracked the code. Like, what's wrong with me? You know, you can just start comparing yourself a lot. But the truth is that life is a journey and different for everyone, right? So don't start comparing yourself. Like, honestly, this is something that I did. I'm speaking from experience. The truth is, like, straight out of campus, I got this job that was not very well paying. And then when I did that, and to be honest, I was really among the people who performed best in our class. So I was like, yay, I got a first class honors. I'm gonna get the best jobs in the market. So no worry, I'll just do this mega job for a while, and then before I get my next big thing, you know. And then, like, the first year passes, the second year, I'm just seeing people like, people are getting nice jobs. Especially there's this close friend of mine who got a job at KMPG, okay, wherever, you guys know that company, and it's a multinational. And I was like, my goodness, they have cracked the code. What is happening to me? I mean, like, what am I not doing right? And that season was quite dark for me, and I started really comparing myself. But right now, looking back, like now, if I'm to give advice to that younger me, I would say that you needed to leave that season, and that was okay. And now my career it's picking up like steadily. So I would say, like, when you're in that season, when your career has not picked up yet, you just continue doing the right things. Like, just continue applying to jobs, continue learning, continue increasing your certificates, and continue, like, looking out, like, what am I not doing right? Maybe it's your CV. Especially for me, my CV was not telling me. I was not doing my CV right. Honestly, I had to pay, like, for my first CV to be redone for me professionally, because I was like, there must be something I'm not doing, because I have the papers, I have the, I know I have worked on my soft skills. Like, there must be something. My CV is not selling me. So I got professional help to write my CV, and that is really, I would say for me, that really helped me. So anyway, what my point is, don't get discouraged when you see that your friends' careers have peaked before yours. Your time will come. You'll just continue doing the right thing and clapping for others until your season is ripe. Okay, because as us Christians say, and the Bible says, is that the God who has brought you this far will take you even further, and what he starts, he brings into accomplishment, right? Anyway, my last tip, I think, is don't stay too much in your first job, but also don't job hop. It's counterintuitive, but anyway, don't stay too long in your first job. You know why? Because in your first job, let's say you start as an intern, right? And then you get your promotion maybe to an assistant or whatever your setup of the organogram is. Those people, they will always see an intern. They will never see you as an equal professional, you know? Like, you need to just immediately after you've gotten enough experience, say, okay, for me, I would say 3 to 5 years is enough for your first job. But after that, you need to advance, even for your professional growth and challenging yourself. 3 to 5 years is enough for the first job. Okay, let's say 2 to 5. All right, but also don't job hop unless it's a toxic environment. There's that caveat. Unless it's a really toxic environment, you want to stay a bit and learn, and then you can be able to now advance, because now the next place that you get, they'll now consider you as a professional, which is now a plus. So yeah. And for me, in my case, my first job, I stayed for 3 years. Yeah, and then after 3 years, I called it quits. I'm the one who just resigned, and I advanced in my career, honestly, given that, like, there was the opportunity for me to stay, and my boss really wanted me to stay, but I just decided, no, I need a bigger challenge than this, and I just I resigned that job and proceeded to other opportunities, which now takes us to the next video, which I'm going to be talking about how I quit my first job. Okay, this series is our career series, so I'm gonna do how I quit my first job. Please look out for it in the next video, because I'm going to film it right after this video. Yeah, so if you've enjoyed this video and if you relate to it, please leave me a thumbs up button. Also, please don't forget to subscribe and comment. I would really love to know, especially for those people who have already like survived postgraduate, you know, like experience. I would love to know how you did it, and please let's guide our younger brothers and sisters on how they can be able to survive life after uni. And until next time, I will see you then. Take care.